Hey, deserving listeners, Love is Blind. Let's watch and see what comes flying out of my face.
I remember faces. I would remember. If I saw you, I would remember. I would. Cheating the system, I just wouldn't have done it. Like, I'd be the shittiest of people if I went through that whole thing knowing what you looked like and not telling anybody.
I don't, maybe it's just me, but I don't consider it to be like evidence that you're one of the shittiest of people. It would be shitty, but it wouldn't be one of the shittiest. Deception and lies are pretty shitty. But it's a particular kind of lie, right? It's not good, but it's not like cheating, right? It could be evidence that the person is prone to that kind of lying of any sort, right? But even if it were true that he did follow and he did suspect, I would have a hard time imagining that someone in his position would know with certainty. Because the other thing, like, would you remember? Like, okay, I'm going to randomly follow and unfollow random Instagram accounts, and I'm going to dedicate it to memory 3 weeks before I enter the pods. I'm just going to like do it to a bunch of accounts in Minneapolis, and I'm going to memorize. Like, how could you even do that? So I don't know. This is weird, and I'm worried that I'm like way off base from you. This scenario is like some kind of. I'm guessing this is like a Rorschach test for all of us. Of just, it has so many possible ways of interpreting it. And I don't think a lot of us have, or at least I don't. I've never been in a scenario where I've had to evaluate. It doesn't really matter. I don't think they're going to, I just need to calm down. I don't think they're going to work either way. I didn't think they were going to work even when they were in the pods. It just did not look inspiring in terms of the energy, which is fine. That's fine. She ran into this thing. It's a gut feeling, and she can make whatever decision she wants. He's starting to look a little shady. Who knows? Maybe we'll never find out. Because at this point, even if she finds on the app it was him, it still doesn't say anything to me. It could mean that he is a sleazebag. It could also mean that he just randomly followed, unfollowed someone and forgot. So we'll probably never know. I don't know.
And I hope you know I'm not that person.
Well, that's why I'm here.
I had no idea. I promise you.
If I look at that and I do see your name there.
If you look at the followers thing and see my name, like that's gonna suck.
Taylor, if you'd like the answer that you need, here is your phone. That would be good. This is a rare moment. We're actually seeing one of the production folks, I think. So yeah, they're watching off camera, and they probably had a conversation during or before of, we might want to give her phone back if it goes a certain direction, because maybe they were waiting to see if they would actually make up. And if they did, then it's like, well, she doesn't really need her phone. So she'll see when she gets back stateside and can look. But if it's about to break up, it's like, well, maybe if she looks, it certainly makes for good drama. The way he's responding, it just is not inspiring confidence in believing him. It's not super indicative of lying, but you would just imagine there would be more to say other than, I promise I didn't do that. But the other thing I think, let's just, as a thought experiment, go with he is on the up and up. And maybe he did follow and unfollow, but he did not think he knew what she looked like, didn't think he knew anything. And just imagine what your brain would be going through in this moment. It went from total elation and, oh my God, we're engaged and we're in love and I met her and she's beautiful and da-da-da. And she didn't reject me because I'm of average height and she had heels on, so she's actually shorter than me. Yippee, let's go. And then she wants to talk to you, huh? And then you get this, it would be weird. Like, what is happening right now? I don't understand. So maybe he's just flustered. Not everyone knows how to, and I don't know what I would say in a scenario like this. I have the ability to pause it and think, and so I don't know. This is weird. It's like such low stakes because I was not pulling for this couple, or I had almost no opinion about. I'm trying to think what I even wrote down about them. Danielle said that one of his sisters was born blind, or his one sister was born blind, he said. And he says, I haven't had many long-term relationships. And then Taylor's GI person, I think she does colonoscopies. She wants kids. She has a Taco Bell inner lip tattoo, as I wrote in my notes. And paraphrasing, she was saying, I have a good dad. He has recovered from cancer, which reminded me to appreciate him more. Also, I used to have a problem with body issues, and now I don't weigh myself anymore. I have felt insecure in past relationships, worrying about him leaving me. Yeah, I mean, that's it. You know, those are interesting little bits, but so I just didn't really have. In fact, before they met in the hallway, I had forgotten about them to some extent. I mean, a lot of it was because they just hadn't been on camera for a long time, and I think I might have been mixing them up a bit with one of the other couples, with maybe Ben and Sarah. I mean, they're pretty different, but anyway. So I don't know why I'm so invested in this, but I am. It's a mystery. It's a mystery, y'all. And it's so all over the place in terms of what's going on, you know?
I'm willing to give you your phone.
Oh, wow. Yeah, let's do it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. It's like, it's very possible.
I'm going to look.
Okay. I wish I could say for 100% certainty that I...
Yeah, either he is really bad at appearing innocent or he's not innocent. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll find out.
Well, you were in Polio, you know? But I just don't know. If I'm there, I just hope you know that, like, I truly came in with nothing.
It's not inspiring confidence, dude. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, right? I mean, we can't read his mind, and again, not everyone reacts the same, and I've seen enough police interrogation videos to know that some people can very much come across as guilty when they're not. They're just really bad at thinking on their feet and don't know how to, and other people will seem very innocent and they're not. Generally speaking, most people are not really proficient in deceiving and situating. You would just think he would say from the beginning, because he didn't. From the beginning, he said, no, I didn't follow you. He said it pretty definitively. No, I didn't follow you. There's no way.
Is there Wi-Fi? Anybody? Bueller.
I know. God damn it.
What?
I know. Sorry.
Well, but he remembered that you made a joke about Bueller on your Instagram, so he was using that. Anyway.
Stupid.
I know.
That is kind of funny, though. It is very rom-com-y for that to have happened, right? Even their facial expression.
Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Then click on the lobby.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna pop up.
All lowercase?
Yeah.
And they're really drawing it out. And we're into episode 7. We're not even at the getaway yet, so I'm just going to take a guess and say that after these bits, there's not a ton of drama. It's just a guess. And if this couple drops out, then there would only be 4 couples left.
Thank you. I hate this doubt that I feel in my brain. I hate that. I don't want that.
Yeah.
It looks like she has to scroll through every single person that followed her, which is interesting. That seems labor. Can't you do a search or something? Plus, then you think, that many people tried to follow you in the past few weeks? I'm going to take a guess and say that people that use Instagram more, particularly in this age group, are listening to me talk and thinking, Kirk, you are out of touch. You don't know shit about shit. So if I don't know shit about shit, I'm sorry about that. About Instagram. I know shit about some things, but not about Instagram, clearly. At the very least, it, I think, illuminates something about the two of them and about their relationship, because I would just imagine other people, you know, just sometimes it's helpful to do this. Imagine if Monica and Joey ran into this situation. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Monica had the exact same reaction that Taylor did. I don't think she would, but let's say that. So let's imagine what Joey would say. And let's imagine that Joey was innocent. Just imagine what Joey would be. Now, Joey's particular, but something in that direction. Just more like, wait, honey, no. Don't, what? No, I would never. What? What's happening? You know, just that. And he's just like, no, I didn't do that. What are you talking about? So I don't know what that says. It could say something about how invested they are. It could say something about his innocence. It could say something about how much they actually liked each other. It could say something about the way they process things, you know, very reserved. I don't know what it says, but what do you think it says? Does it say anything? Am I even reading this right? I'm guessing I'm not. I don't know. I'm worried.
No, please don't feel crazy. My feelings for you haven't changed. And like, I hope... Do you believe me?
I do. But you didn't know. Like, maybe you did follow me at some point.
Yeah.
But if you...
Yeah. There's like...
I don't understand. So she was scrolling for a while, and it sounds like she is realizing that he did not. He is saying, I still love you. Don't worry about it. She's like, you probably think I'm crazy. So that, so that's encouraging for her to say that. So this whole thing kind of lends itself to her not, because I was wondering from the very beginning if she was just using this as an excuse, right? And if this is the way that it's going to end, where she doesn't find him on the list of people who have unsubscribed, unfollowed on Instagram. So it looks like that list is just those who unfollow. Well, then you wonder, well, maybe you're mixing up some memories and you saw his Instagram because you seem to be pretty sure about that. You know, anyway, she is saying, oh, you know, you probably think I'm crazy. And that lends itself to the idea that she headed in this whole thing in good faith, that she wasn't, you know, grabbing in bad faith for an excuse to break up with him. Like, she was genuine. She thought, I still imagine that it might be an unconscious way of trying to get out. And this happens, you know, people will be in especially in an early dating relationship, and you're just not feeling it, the chemistry. And Seinfeld, the TV show, did this all the time. I mean, it's fictional and it's comedy and whatnot, but Jerry would frequently have some deal breaker, like her hands were too big or something. And the way I saw it anyway was that he just didn't have chemistry or wasn't ready to settle down or whatever. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know, there's something really weird about this whole interaction. And I was thinking that for sure she was going to discover on her phone. I thought for sure that was going to happen, and it didn't. So now his reaction starts to look kind of at least anemic and strange, but innocent. So now I have to I was assuming, anyway. Oh, and then she says, well, you might have still followed. So let's rewind.
But you didn't know. Like, maybe you did follow me at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I think she's saying, well, maybe you did follow me at some point, but it doesn't have anything to do with this. I think that's what she's saying, right?
Yeah. There's like, I promise you. Mm-hmm. I promise you I didn't know. I promise. Mm-hmm. Whatever you need to do to like process, I'm okay with. Mm-hmm. So.
I don't need it anymore. Okay, thank you.
I'm going to take a guess that she breaks up with him because of the gut feeling. However, and it doesn't matter if she's not feeling it, she's not feeling it. And she can make up whatever story she wants to. She could continue to tell herself that she's quite sure, even though, let's say, it never happened. It doesn't matter. She can break up with whoever she wants to break up with for whatever reason. That is everyone's right. And they don't have to justify it to anyone, especially me. But us from the outside can go, that was interesting, which I will do if that happens.
I was scared that he knew physically everything about me, and that's why the connection was built on what it was. But it wasn't. I'm crazy.
Okay, I was waiting for a firm confirmation of that because I couldn't tell if she needed more time with the app or there was another possibility, but it sounds like she was misremembering. And I would hope that she would actually, now that this is over, take some time to think about why she was thinking that, why she was latching onto that so firmly. I would imagine if I were in her shoes, I would suspect maybe I'm looking for a way to get out of this and maybe I should look at that, which she deserves to do.
Oh, I need a drink.
Hear it?
It'd be funny in a not ha-ha way if they actually got married. As a yes. I doubt that for a lot of reasons. It's also possible that their relationship was good and that this idea got planted in her head somehow and ruined any sort of love that she would have had. That can happen. Sort of like, it's not the same thing, but it's akin that when you wake up after a dream about someone that you know and your person, like, if I wake up and I had a bad dream about my wife and the first time I see her in the morning, I have this like feeling of like, hey, you wronged me recently. And then, oh, that's a dream. If you times that times 100, something like this could happen, right? Where you are pretty sure about something, even though it's not true. And you go with that for a long enough time that it reworks your neurons such that you don't love or can't love someone.
I love that he's patient. And I feel really bad because I'm sure the way here his brain was a million places as well.
Okay, I'm glad that I didn't expect her to have or express that empathy because, yeah, I mean, if we look at the situation now, I'd gone down a road with him. If we look at the situation, Occam's razor, he's being, he did nothing wrong that we know of. I don't know why. It's like he gets into your head and you start imagining, and then part of my brain still is convinced he's a sleazebag and he's like this psychopathic person like in the TV show You or something, that kind of thing. So it's like he gets in your head, and even for me, I wonder if she's experiencing that herself. I don't know. And I wonder if she has some kind of history around that. I wouldn't be surprised. So interesting. But yeah, if we just look at the likely story is that he did nothing wrong, and then he gets accused of something out of the blue, and he's about to be dumped, and he detected that and her demeanor and all that, and then his own insecurity. I mean, he seems almost resigned that she's going to leave him anyway, whether it's his height or maybe that's all he's thinking of. I don't know. So it's an interesting scenario. Brand new scenario in reality TV, right? Have you seen something like this before?
It's been a very emotional experience to this point.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is a part of it, but I would imagine a lot of people on this show, Irina presented kind of an exaggerated version of this, but that feeling of, you're in the pods and I'm getting chills, kind of not like happy chills, but like, I don't know, eerie chills, or sometimes I get chills just from intensity, that you're in the pods, you're in this mission and you have your notebook and you're meeting all these people and then you start narrowing it down and then, you're going back to the hotel, you have no phone and you're meeting all these people and all this stuff is happening around you. And then you start kind of zeroing in on one person. You're like, oh, we're really connecting. Oh, I really like this person. I'm feeling good. Oh, compared to everything else, all the other guys, this feels really good. And, am I in love? I feel like I'm in love. Whoa, what's happening? And I'm swept up in the moment. And then you get engaged and you go back to the hotel and it's, you're ready to go. And then all of a sudden it sets in like, what the fuck am I doing? What is happening right now? Wait, what am I doing? What if I'm mistaken? I'm on a reality TV show. I'm going to have to sleep with this guy. I don't even know I saw him, but I don't even remember what he looks like. I remember he was not the tallest dude, but I remember not feeling, because that's the other thing is that we know from research that if you induce a physical feeling that is associated with an emotion before an event, then you can actually produce different memories for people and different associations. For example, if you give someone, and there's some famous research, and some of this is unethical, so we can only use the results now, but we can't replicate it because of ethics in human research, at least in the United States, that you can, for example, have people do a task and you have as a control group people do the task and then you ask them how they feel about that task, right? And then you take a bunch of other people and you induce some kind of feeling like nausea or anxiety or something, and then you have them do the same task and you ask them questions about that task. And whether they noticed that they were having the physical feeling or not, they will have very different interpretations of what was happening for them. So when you head into the hallway, you have a lot of adrenaline pumping, right? And if things go one way or the other, or you interpret things, or maybe you're not used to that amount of adrenaline, or it's a particular kind of adrenaline or whatever, and it's sort of like a bad trip. People will talk about that. Like if you're taking, psychedelics, you need to, it can go either way. You can go zing and be happy, or you can go whoa and have things be very intensely awful and anxiety provoking. I want to be clear that sometimes even with good coaching, it can still go any direction because the brain is weird, especially on psychedelics. But anyway, so for the people heading into the hallway, it's not all just happiness and joy, right? It could be interpreted in a lot of different directions. For some people, that kind of intensity, and I can imagine the two of them because they're pretty subdued people, and I don't know, but I can imagine heading into the hallway of just like, ooh, I don't like this feeling, and I know this feeling, especially maybe if you're prone to anxiety or panic, that adrenaline feeling could remind you of that, even though it's not really happening, and you could walk away going, that felt dangerous. I think Irina actually ran into that, and why was I in danger? Well, it must have been him. I mean, that's the only thing that was in there. He must be dangerous. Why was he dangerous? I think I remember, him on Instagram. He's dangerous. And then you go with it, right? You could imagine that happening. And I don't know. I always use this show as a jumping off point so you can think about this for yourself. And for parenting as well, that for kids, often, especially if you have an anxious kid, you're trying to get them to do things, go to preschool or go to camp that they want to go to, or stick it out with baseball or something. And you just see them having all these ups and downs, and they have a hard time with their emotions, and helping them understand and giving them some agency and power over their emotions and how to interpret it can be really powerful, right? So are they going to go to the next phase?
Thank you. Would love it to be a step forward for me and for us. My gut right now says we'll probably go to Honduras.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you didn't know, we have merch, the link below, and I do personalized videos for birthdays and anniversaries or whatever. So if you want to go to the website for that, you can get one of those personalized videos. It's called a Kirkgram. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.